but I truly believe that the next step is going to be through education, giving people the tools, giving people the positive coping strategies. Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Mind Matters Show. This episode I want to talk about what's been the hardest thing in, managing my bipolar and living with it. And I think the best way to do that is to look at pre-diagnosis and then look at post-diagnosis. So for myself, managing who I was and my moods without knowing that I had bipolar, it was really tough. There'd be days where I'd be up, there'd be days that I'd be down. There'd be days where I'd have really poor decision making. There'd be days where I'd go out and disappear for 2 or 3 days and I'd be fighting with my wife. And I'd be treating people really poorly. And not knowing why I was feeling that way or what was going on was really tough. Then I look at when I got to the point in 2010 where I hit rock bottom and I become addicted to drugs and I was really struggling. And I needed to get some help. And that's when I put my hand up and went and sought help. And I got that diagnosis. And in my story when I said that is, getting that diagnosis was like putting my life into context. The book's going back on the shelf in chronological order, A to Z. Because then I look back on everything that had happened in the past and all the things that I went through with relationships, work, footy, the ups and downs, the poor decision making, and it gave that a bit of context. It gave it some understanding, like on the highs, I would do certain things, and in the lows, I would do certain things. And I think having that awareness or that self-awareness when I'm on a high or when I'm on a low of what things to put in place, what coping strategies to turn to, I think that's really important. Like when you're on a high, you need to implement different things to when you're on a low to manage your headspace, manage your mood. And this has probably been the biggest learning curve for myself. 30 years of lived experience, but only going on 7 years of living with the diagnosis and the understanding of my mood disorder. So that's been the toughest things for myself. But if you're someone out there that a couple of those things have resonated with you, it might be a bit of an idea or an inkling to maybe put your hand up and go and ask for some help, or understand that you may need to change or add some things into your life to better manage your mental health. So thank you for listening to this episode of the Mind Matters Show, and always remember, the mind matters.